Chapter 5, A Fish Out of Water. While the season depths may be dangerous for a clownfish, things aren't much better at the surface. If you're a fish out of water, you're in a whole peck of trouble, because a whole lot of trouble is going to be pecking at you. Many fish have popped above the surface to have a look around, only to find themselves snatched up by hungry seabirds. Knowing how to avoid seabirds is important for any fish who plans on poking his head out of the water. Seagulls are some of the most common seabirds. They can be easily identified by their screaming call, which sounds like my. Seagulls are greedy and will eat just about anything. I've heard other birds call them rats with wings. Fortunately, because seagulls aren't that picky, they won't go out of their way to hunt you. They're satisfied with any unlucky fish who happens to get stranded on shore. If you find yourself beached on a rock or a pier, try to get back in the water as soon as possible. The best way to move quickly across dry surfaces is to employ the flip-flop technique. The flip-flop technique has 3 basic steps. Step 1. Flail about until you are lying on your side with your tail pointed in the direction you want to go. Step 2. Bend your body sideways so that your head and tail lift off the ground. Step 3. Snap your tail firmly against the ground. The force of this movement should catapult you onto your other side. Repeat these 3 steps several times, moving in the direction of a body of water. If the flip-flop technique does not work for you, there are other means of above water escape. Dory and I once dodged a flock of hungry seagulls by leaping into the mouth of a friendly pelican. Pelicans have large bowl-shaped bills that can be filled with water, so we were able to travel quickly through the air in relative comfort and safety. However, this technique is generally not recommended, since most pelicans also eat fish. If you leap into the mouth of a pelican for safety only to find that the pelican wants to eat you, try this. 1. Twist sideways as you move through the pelican's mouth. Try to get your body lined up across its tongue. 2. When the pelican swallows, wedge yourself in its throat. This will cause the pelican to start coughing. 3. When the pelican coughs you out, use the flip-flop technique to reach the nearest body of water. Do not stop swimming once you hit the big blue, however. Just because you're below sea level doesn't mean you're safe. Once I was swimming near the coast when I heard a huge splash in the water next to me. At first, I thought it was a flying fish coming in for a crash landing, but suddenly I saw a giant bird shooting through the water. It was a cormorant, and he looked hungry. I dove straight down thinking the cormorant wouldn't be able to follow me, but the bird stayed right on my tail, paddling with its webbed feet and using its tail like a rudder. I'm a pretty fast swimmer, but the cormorant was faster. Without thinking, I dove into a crack between 2 rocks. Slam! The bird crashed into the rocks and caught its beak in the crack. I had just enough time to swim away before it yanked its beak free. Lucky for me, cormorants don't have gills, and this big bird had run out of steam. As the cormorant darted back up to the surface for a breath of air, I swam out of there. Visiting the surface can be an exciting experience. There's a whole world up there that is still relatively unexplored by fish kind. But if you do decide to take the risk, watch out for those so-called fine-feathered friends.